It will go down as the Immaculate Reception, Nebraska style. A lucky bounce that gives the Huskers an overtime win over the Tigers. Coming up, highlights and a conversation with head coach Larry Smith on This Week in Mizzou Football.
The big man breaks the tackle. Touchdown, Missouri. Right side breaks 3-15, 10-5. Brock will score. Over the middle, Rainbow's Layman wide open. He makes the grab at the 22. Breaks the tackle. Touchdown, Missouri. He can go the distance. Look at that. Touchdown, Missouri. This week in Mizzou football with head coach Larry Smith is brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for a crisp, clean, classic taste. Commerce Bank. For my money, it's Commerce Bank. The new Dodge. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you. The Missouri Lottery. Making life a little richer for all of us. And Shelter Insurance. Pledging to you the best in personal service and insurance protection for your life, home, car, farm, and business. Shelter Insurance. We'll always be there for you.
Whoever said the best things in life were free, they never took these guys shopping. The minute you need a new pair of shoes, the other one needs a backpack. So when we heard about free checking, how could we say no? Look at it, make sure you're positive that's what you want. We have to think of every way we can to save money. There are plenty of ways to spend it.
Now you can open your free checking account by phone. Just call 1-800-641-BANK today.
For my money, it's Commerce.
Morning, hon.
Good morning, darling.
I've got some important news.
Nothing Washington does is news.
Have you talked to Shelter Insurance?
Honey, I'm not calling Shelter about more life insurance unless you're
Nauseated?
I'll call Shelter about more whole life and more junior life and term insurance and... Did I say junior life? Are you feeling okay?
Shelter Insurance will always be there for you.
She was a thrill, she wanted now, my dear exciting. She hears that sound. She wants to scratch now. Going out to play, you know she knows the way. For instant fun, you gotta start from scratch. Anytime, any day, anywhere. Only one sound she can hear. She wants to scratch now. Scratch, scratch,
Of all the great conveniences found in America's best-selling minivan, here's one you rarely get to enjoy. A very generous $1,000 cash back on Grand Caravan. Or you can choose this Dodge Caravan, which includes all this at no extra charge. And after $750 cash back, the price drops to an exceptionally low $17,245. But hurry, because numbers this good get carried away rather quickly. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Hello and welcome to This Week in Mizzou Football. In a season of turnaround, renewed tradition, and triumph, Missouri offers its fans one for the ages. It will go down as an overtime loss to the #1 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers. But for those who were a part of it, It was so much more. Joining me now is Tiger head football coach Larry Smith. And Coach, I think I can speak on behalf of all Missouri fans and everyone associated with your program that this was a special football game, and while it will go down as a loss, there were so many other victories that you and your program should be proud of.
Well, again, there's no consolation. It's still a loss. I was very, very proud of our football team and the way we played. You can't take that away from us. It just went down to that one last play, and it was a fluky thing, and we've got to look at it and walk away from it and get ready for the next game.
In all your years of coaching, this has to rank up as one of maybe possibly the most exciting games you've ever been a part of?
For sure. It was one of the most exciting, one of the most unique. You know, it was just a classic.
It was a classic, and let's get right to the highlights because the Tigers, on their first possession, before a sellout crowd of more than 66,000 at Faroe Field, would watch Corby Jones improvising a pass play. Nothing's there, and he creates and converts 13 yards on this play.
Well, this is the danger that Corby always poses, the fact that if things are covered, he always has that ability to scramble and scramble quite well.
All right, he picked up 13. That was a 4th and 1 situation. You're around midfield. You decide to go for it. It pays off. And then after you get the first down, Eddie Brooks, wide open, 34 yards on this play. Let's go back to the decision to go for it on 4th and 1, Coach.
Well, again, I just felt that in big games like that, you have to make critical decisions. I just felt confidently that we would make it, and I think it helps send a message to your football team.
Well, it sent a message. The drive continued, and eventually, as you saw, Brock Olivo plunges in from 1 yard out. Tigers led it 7-0, but wait a minute. Nebraska brings the top-ranked rushing offense in the country to Columbia. Here's Amon Green. He gets 18 on that play. Scott Frost, he's another quarterback that can run. He lunges in, and he ties the game right there. Frost and Jones, it was a battle all day long. These two were making plays, one right after the other.
They sure were. They were matching a play for play, and it was Scott's a great athlete, but Corby is a great athlete, and it was just a great thing to see.
Well, they said it was the battle for the Big 12 Quarterback of the Year, and after this game, I'm not sure it was decided. It was pretty much a tie. All right, after a poor punt, Nebraska gets great field position, and Scott Frost plunges in from 1 yard out. Then the ensuing kickoff, Coach Ricky Ross gets great blocking and set this up for us.
Well, again, it was a little wedge return that we offset to the left, and we'd worked very hard during the week on this because we felt it might be open, and it was a critical part of the football game because it bailed us out a couple times after they scored and got the momentum back.
Well, you go right up top. Here's Jay Murchison for 28 yards at the end of the first quarter. Tigers are in business. Now, they did a nice job shutting down your running attack, but you had no problem passing against the Huskers.
Right. We were usually mostly play-action passing where we were faking options. Here we faked the option and hit Coleman in the end zone for a touchdown. Either faking the option or the off-tackle play and hitting our little boots and waggles coming off that, and using a lot of motion to get it to free up a receiver, and that's exactly what it did.
And he was free. Torrey Coleman from 18 yards out, the touchdown. The Tigers have tied it up 14-14. We're early in the second quarter. Then Amon Green. He had a big afternoon. On the day, 30 carries, 189 yards. He's a very talented back, tough to slow him down. Eventually, they move inside the 10, and Green takes it in from 7 yards out. Tough to slow down that running attack.
Yeah, well, this right here was a 3rd and 7 after they had a penalty, and we thought they were going to pass, so we rushed, and they trapped us and ran right up the gut.
7 yards, and the touchdown gives Nebraska a 21-14 lead, but you come right back. Ricky Ross hadn't seen him in this game yet. Here he gets a catch from Corby, 15 yards. Then 2 plays later, that same combo, and a nice job of coming back to the boss by the receiver Ricky Ross. On the day, he had 2 catches for 51 yards. We take another look.
It was just a little fade pattern. We were working on their corners a little bit, and the guy just overran it, and Ricky came back to the ball and made a great play.
And that set up a Scott Nickman 39-yard field goal. He connects 21-17. Coach, you get points, and I think one of the things I noticed here in the first half was you didn't miss out on any opportunities. You got 3 when you could and 7 in the other cases.
Yeah, I think in a game like that, you have to take advantage of every scoring opportunity. You can't sit and second-guess yourself. When you get down the scoring zone, you got to come away with points, and that's what we did.
21-17, Nebraska is leading. Time for the Tiger defense to step up, and they do so in a big way. Shad Chris, watch him haul in the interception. It looked like he was the intended receiver. He was open. Shad does a nice job on the return, returning at 40 yards. Then there's a face mask, so you tack on 15. Let's take another look. Your defensive backs did a great job against their receivers, Coach.
They sure did. We went into the game saying that we wanted to get 3 or more turnovers. That our defense had to do that. They got 3, and it was just it was a big factor in the game.
Nice job, and Shad's got tremendous speed. He didn't even get to open it up there. Still got 40 yards on the return. And as soon as you get the ball in your possession, you go right to work. This is the first play of the drive. And we haven't seen this play this year, at least not Brock this deep downfield.
Well, we've called this play about 7 times in the last 2 years and scored 6 times. Yeah, it's a little shoot-back pass, and it's been very successful for us. And he's open at different areas, so he just goes down in there in that open area and gets open, and Corby throws him the ball.
Great downfield blocking, as you saw. Brock just followed the guys into the end zone. You're leading the #1 team in college football, undefeated Nebraska, 24-21. You go into halftime, and everyone in that stadium, everyone watching on national television realized that Nebraska had its hands full.
Well, they had more in their hands, Phil. We were beating them. Real simple. And going into halftime, I think that the the momentum was on our side because we had stopped them on a little drive of their own, and we really had the momentum. And it was just a simple game of blocking and tackling, really, is all it was. And our guys were running ahead, and they believed they could win, and they made it happen.
Good, solid football, and we've got another half to go. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with the second half highlights plus the overtime. Stay with us.
Budweiser, always brew refresh.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Dig it.
Bargain hunting is kind of my hobby. It's her life. Okay, it's my life. I need a good bargain. So the last thing I'm going to pay for is a checking account. Look at this jacket.
Where do you wear that? Gotta have gloves.
So if I write a check and I'm getting charged for checking, then it's not a bargain anymore.
Now you can open your free checking account by phone. Just call 1-800-641-BANK today.
For my money, it's commerce.
From the Show Me State, almost live, it's
The unknown comic and fun. It's still my bag. The other day I played Scratchers. I won so much I got a facelift. Check it out. Hey, dear, about the 2 Scratchers players who stole a calendar. Yeah, they each got 6 months. My impression of the first Scratchers player to land on the sun. Before I play, let me get my game face on.
Dodge Dakota owners are celebrating. A recent J.D. Power & Associates study ranked Dakota most appealing compact pickup. But we believe this lease is pretty appealing too. How do you add lots more muscle without breaking a sweat? Get a Magnum V6 at no extra charge when you buy a Dodge Dakota. So come, bulk up at the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Welcome back to This Week in Mizzou Football. We're going to take a look at the second half against Nebraska. The Tigers are currently leading the Huskers 24-21, and Coach, your defense comes up big on the first series of the third quarter. Scott Frost, they are driving, but the fumble, pretty good pitch. He just doesn't handle it, and Steve Erickson hustles up and gets the fumble recovery.
Right. Those are the kind of plays that we wanted to make with our defense. We felt that's the #1 thing we could do to get ourselves off the field.
Tigers' first possession of the third quarter, and you stay up top. First, Corby Jones to Kent Lehman, a little unnecessary roughness, going to add 15 yards to that play. Or did they? Well, yes, they did. And then you move ahead, 1st and 5 situation. Ernest Blackwell, right up the gut, 7 yards. The rushing attack wasn't there, but when you needed some key yardage, you got it.
Right. I still think, we ran as well as I think what maybe you can do. And then we had a fourth down situation where we kept our offense in there, and Corby went with a short punt and knocked it down to the 1 yard line or 1 foot line.
If you're going to get a punt and you can pin them on the 1, you'll take that every time, even if it is your quarterback kicking the ball. All right, you have Nebraska pinned deep, and things look very good, but they come up with a big play. Scott Frost hits Newcomb 33 yards, and they're out of trouble, it seems. A couple plays later, Amon Green, that talented tailback, is going to show he can catch the ball as well. Throw back across the field. Green gets some great blocking, and then he shows on the speed.
Well, again, it was a little throwback pass. They play action fake to him, and he weaved his way through the backside, and they hit him, and he went down the sideline.
And then that eventually set up Scott Frost for 1 yard out. Nebraska reclaims the lead, 28-24. I guess at this point you could say, well, this is the first missed opportunity. You had them pinned deep,
right,
and they went 99 yards.
Yeah, and again, in a game like that, though, they're a good team, and they're going to do things like that. But again, you'd sure like to keep them pinned in there when you get them back there.
Tigers don't quit. They come right back with, what else? That passing attack. Corby Jones had an outstanding afternoon. 12 of 20, 233 yards, and at times he looked like an All-American. And you get a big kickoff return here from Devin West. Once again, great blocking. And this is a little bit different than the Ricky Ross return.
Well, it was actually we started up the middle on the wedge and then cut it to the outside, and Devin did a great job. We had some excellent blocking inside, and guys just made things happen.
Corby Jones scrambling, throwing on the run. Eddie Brooks, 15 yards on that play, and that's first down for the Tigers.
Again, that was an option pass, and he found the open guy. Here we're going to throw the ball back, and it was covered, so Corby just took it in. That was a fantastic play. How he got that in, I don't know, but he did.
Well, Frost dove in from about the same point, so Corby was going to outdo him, and I think he did on this play. This is just pure athleticism. Up and over, 3 defenders right there. Corby finds the end zone. Hey, when he smells it, he knows how to get there.
Yeah, he sure does.
31-28, Tigers have the lead. The seesaw game continues. Start of the first quarter, and Nebraska has tied it up with a field goal, so it's 31-31. Now Missouri has the ball. Corby Jones. Was this a run all the way, Coach?
This is an option all the way. He just reads it and either keeps or pitches.
Great speed by Corby, 34 yards. He would have had 100 yards rushing on the day. Actually, he did, but anytime he's sacked, that counts against his stats, so he finished with 60 yards. Still a very good day. Now, watch what happens here. Pass play. Tip ball. Just a nice play by the defender, Coach.
Yeah, it was a heads-up play on their part, and it stopped the drive. And for the most part, I think it had a little, something to do with the end of the game.
But your defense comes back and makes a big play. Hey, Harold Piercy has intercepted a ball in the last 2 games. Why not make it 3? He extends his personal streak to 3 interceptions in his last 3 games. Nice little return. So, yeah, you maybe lose a little momentum, but you get the ball right back.
Yeah, we had a trade-off there, but we'll take it.
Then from there, Corby Jones to Eddie Brooks, that combination, 3 catches, 64 yards, and this touchdown from 15 yards out. Let's take another look. What was the call here, Coach?
Well, it was, again, we were just faking off tackle, one of our base plays, and it was a play-action fake. And we ran motion. We ran the fullback to flat. They covered the fullback and left the tight end wide open.
He was wide open, and more importantly, you're leading Nebraska 38-31, and the situation is this, that you're going to get the ball back. And you're moving upfield, but you got to get a first down. You got to continue to eat the clock, and you weren't able to do that.
Yeah, well, they used all their timeouts to hem us in there, and again, we didn't come up the first. We got a good punt, good coverage, and we had them backed up there with they had about 60, 70 yards to go, but no timeouts. So.
And we're going to see Nebraska's version of the 2-minute offense, because that's when they get the ball with just a little over 2 minutes to go. You got to believe. I think everyone in the stadium believed, but Scott Frost was making a believer out of everyone in the country who couldn't believe he could pass. Boy, he ran this to perfection. He hits Cheatham there for 27 yards. And watch this play. We're going to slow it down for you. This is as close to an interception as you can get without it being one. Al Sterling dives. I don't know. You be the judge. It's very close. The official says, no, it's not. So what does it mean? It means the Huskers' drive continues. Here it is, folks. The play Missouri fans will be talking about, well, forever. We've experienced first down, we've seen that, and now we have this. Matt Davison, the rookie, the freshman, true freshman, comes up with this play, and it's just a lucky bounce, Coach. That's what it comes down
there's
to.
No way you can't fault anybody, anything. It's just it was a lucky, freaky, fluky play, and you just look at it and say, hey, we don't control everything that goes on sometimes. We walk away from it and get ready for the next game.
Another look. A lot of people still in disbelief. It is indeed a catch. It never hit the ground, and one stinking play, I think is the way you described it after the game, Coach. And boy, this is with no time remaining. So it's 38-38. Nebraska obviously has momentum, and that was a difference because in the previous overtime games that you've been a part of, your team has had a great feeling going into overtime. But after they tied it up with no time remaining, you could feel the stadium deflate.
Well, I don't think there's any question that they had the momentum was on their side, and their offense immediately went in, and Frost made a great play, and they took it in for the score.
Scott Frost had 4 rushing touchdowns on the day. So Nebraska has the lead, 45-38. First time they've led since, well, way back in the first half. Corby Jones on first down in overtime. Remember, the Tigers will start at the 25, and incomplete. It's always nice to get some yardage on first down. Didn't happen. Eventually sets up a 4th and 6 situation. Nebraska's got those big rush ends. They load up. They get the sack. So Nebraska comes to Columbia, is in a dogfight, escapes with an overtime win, 45-38. We had one Missouri fan actually say to us as early as this morning, say, Missouri didn't lose that game. And even though it goes down as a loss, that's nice that people can look at it that way.
I think everybody did. I think we lost in a scoreboard, but I think basically in everybody's hearts, we didn't lose the game. It was just a winner's game all the way. For that part, both teams, because it was a hard-fought contest, and it was college football at its best.
It was. College football's one of the finest games of the season. Coach, we're going to step aside for just a bit, but first, let's check in with the University Spotlight.
The University of Missouri recently won the Hesburgh Award, as well as state and presidential recognition for its general education program.
The program is designed to ensure that MU graduates are well trained, but that they're also well educated, that they have a strong background in the liberal arts and sciences, that they have the intellectual tools to evaluate the quality of their lives. Students should be able to write well, and so they must take 3 writing courses. 2 of them are writing intensive. They must be able to figure mathematically, so they must take college algebra and any course called a math reasoning proficiency course. They must also be competent in computers. If there is on this campus a collective effort, this certainly is one. This program was approved by a 2/3 majority of the faculty voting. It has required every department to help in the delivery of this program. So when we won this award, we won it truly as a campus. This is not an individual award to anybody.
Budweiser. I can't believe they went with the frogs. Louis. Our audition was flawless. Louis. We did the look. Huh? We did the tongue thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Louis, frogs sell beer. That's it, man. #1 rule of marketing.
The Budweiser lizards. We could have been huge.
Hey, there'll be other auditions.
Oh, yeah, for what? This was Budweiser, buddy.
No.
This was big. Those frogs are gonna pay.
Let it go, Louis. Let it go.
Of all the great conveniences found in America's best-selling minivan, here's one you rarely get to enjoy. A very generous $1,000 cash back on Grand Caravan. Or you can choose this Dodge Caravan, which includes all this at no extra charge. And after $750 cash back, the price drops to an exceptionally low $17,245. But hurry, because numbers this good get carried away rather quickly. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Me? Yeah, I travel a lot. When my house payment is due here, I'm due right about here. With Commerce, I can get cash at LAX, buy breakfast in Beijing. I can even check my money market in my bathrobe. Commerce brings me answers, even when I'm 2,000 miles away.
Now you can bank anywhere, anytime. To open your account over the phone, call 1-800-641-BANK today.
For my money, it's Commerce.
Welcome back. The regular season finale brings Baylor to Columbia. The Bears have a new head coach this year. He's Dave Roberts, and he's looking forward to bringing his squad to the Show Me State.
I just came from Notre Dame. It'll probably be cold, and it'll probably be windy. It'll be just like normal day in South Bend. Now, our players won't be used to that, but I certainly will, so that'll be neat. But I think that's good for the kids. Missouri is such a good setting to play college football, and when I'd recruit there, I'd always go by the stadium and stick my head in and say hello, and it's a neat place to play. So, I think it's good for a football team to go around the country and be able to travel, and it'll be good for our football team to get in Missouri, and we'll take them around the campus and let them see Missouri, and that's part of the educational experience, and that's the fun part about this.
I think Missouri fans, when you mention Baylor, they think of the wild one in Waco last year, the overtime game. That was a wild one. This is a different team. You guys are on a hot streak, even though you're coming off a tough loss to Nebraska.
Well, the important thing here is we've got to rebound. We've got to put the Nebraska game behind us and all the grief with it because the guys basically were devastated and heartbroken after the game. And the biggest thing we got to do is grieve, but then come Monday, we've got to put it all behind us and bounce back and beat Baylor.
Still can get 7 wins in the season. That's a tremendous campaign.
That's a big achievement, big accomplishment, and we've got to think about what's ahead, and we just got to continue to win and better ourselves.
All right, Coach, it's time for the Rhino. Let's take a look at the block of the week, and it comes in the third quarter, and we're going to focus on the offensive line because, remember, Nebraska's got one of the best defenses in the country, but the Tigers put up 38 points, and one of the reasons, the blocking the offensive line. Travis Beeble, number 61, watch this. We call this a pancake block. He puts his opponent on his back. 61 gets the Rhino of the week. Travis Beeble, Mike Morris, Rob Riddy, Craig Heimberger, the whole line did a great job, and we want to point out that Nebraska features 3 kids that are probably going to be All-Americans on the defensive front.
Well, the guy Travis blocked there was Jason Peter, who is an All-American himself, and Travis has been playing outstanding football. He blocked over 90% last week against Colorado, so he's very deserving of that award.
All right, Coach, you focused on it a bit before. Some closing comments as you head into the final regular season game of the year.
Well, it's a very important football game for us, and I think the most important thing for us to do is to get back to business and just bounce back. Baylor's going to be a tough game. They're a better team than they were a year ago, and we've got a lot ahead of us, so we're playing for a lot. We just got to, I hope everybody comes out and shows that same enthusiasm we had yesterday and really gets after it.
Tremendous crowd against Nebraska. Hey, close out the season on a strong note, both with a win and with a tremendous crowd. Well, for head coach Larry Smith, I'm Brian Nooner. We'll see you next week on This Week in Mizzou Football.
This Week in Mizzou Football has been brought to you by Commerce Bank. For my money, it's Commerce Bank. The new Dodge. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you. The Missouri Lottery, making life a little richer for all of us. Shelter Insurance, pledging to you the best in personal service and insurance protection for your life, home, car, farm, and business. Shelter Insurance will always be there for you. And Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better.